Today I'm tying the CDC spent wing midge. This is typically tied in a size 16 all the way through a size 22. This works just fantastic wherever you have midges floating about, so you definitely want some midges in your fly box. It has a thread-based body, and we're using a Dairiki number 320 hook, and I'll be tying this in the size 16. I use an 8/0 black thread. Start out behind the eye, and I go all the way down to the hook point. And because this does have a thread body, we want to make our wraps very even and precise. And then we come forward again to about a 1/4 inch behind the eye. Nice even body. We use a CDC for the wing, the premium CDC, and a natural done. And what you want to do with your CDC feather is you want to cut off the center tip of that feather, right like that. So it creates a V in the feather. We pull all these little fibbits forward and lay it right on top. One loose wrap, and then we adjust that feather for our wing. We want our wing to be about as long as the hook shank. Once I've got that placed where I need it, I cinch it down good with a few wraps. And then I use the superfine dubbing in black, just a tiny little amount. And then we tie the thorax. I take my wing and I split it evenly on each side. Come around with my thread into a figure 8. And I work that wing to where it stands out on both sides. I add a little bit more dubbing for the body. These little midges have a nice thick thorax. Makes it look all the more meatier. Again with my figure 8 to split that wing. And I end up right behind the eye with my thread. Next thing I want to do is pull the butt end of the feather up over the eye, tie it behind the eye, pull the wing out of the way, a few good wraps. Next I go under with my thread, and I end up right behind that thorax. I pull the feather right back over that thorax, and a few good wraps, cut off the excess feather. A side note, don't throw this feather away. CDC is a bit on the expensive side, and you want to get your money's worth out of it. Since there's still a lot left on this feather, you can tie something like a CDC midge pupa with the remaining feather. So always keep your feather. Few more wraps to cinch down what I've cut off, and you can go back over the body a little bit, go back to where the hook point is and even it all up. Make sure it looks nice and even. And I tie it off right behind the thorax. I put in a few good knots. and a little drop of head cement to seal everything off. I also like to put in a little bit of watershed. It's a liquid fly dressing. It works very, very well on CDC. Keeps everything afloat. And there you have it, your CDC spent wing midge.